Hi, my name is Oscar Pistorius. I'm a Paralympic athlete from South Africa, 400 meter specialist, and I participated in the Paralympics in Athens in 2004 and Beijing 2008, and I'm hoping to participate next year here in London for the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games. The story I'm going to tell you today goes back to around about November, December of 1990. I was about 4 years old at the time, and it was probably one of my very first memories. I grew up with prosthetic legs, and from a very young age my parents always said to me, it's not about the disabilities you have in life but the abilities you have, and that having a disability was not always going to be about the disabilities, but there would be some serious advantages too. And I guess it took me to this experience to really find what they were talking about, and they never treated my disability very seriously. They always said, in the morning your brother Cole puts on his shoes and you put on your legs, and that's the last we want to hear about it. I was probably about 4 years old, and I was sitting at home. I was playing TV games, and my brother had this go-kart. It was a very primitive go-kart. It had a steel frame, like an I-beam frame, and the front or the top of the eye could pivot on a single bolt, and it had a rope on either end of the eye so you could steer it, and it had very primitive tires. They were like trolley shopping carts wheels, and he had this go-kart that he got built by his godfather the previous summer, and he'd never allow me to go near it. It was like his pride and joy, his baby. And the one day he came up to me, and I was playing TV games inside, and he said, "Oscar, I want to take you upstairs and show you this go-kart of mine." So I took him by the hand, and I went upstairs, and he took me close to this go-kart, and he said, have a look. And I looked at it, and I was like, wow, this is really impressive. This is amazing. I now know why you never let me near it. It's amazing. It's a piece of art. And he said, today I want to take you for a ride in my go-kart. So I thought, wow, this is great. And I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. So I jumped in behind him, and we set off down the road. And he'd usually only go about 40 or 50 meters to the point that he'd veer off the road onto an embankment. And then he'd start slowing down because it didn't have brakes. But this day he went past that point, and I was thinking to myself, I got a bit nervous, and I was thinking, okay, he's obviously trying to show off. But yeah, we carried on going, and the road we lived on was only about 350 meters down to the bottom of the street, to where there was a hairpin or a very strong 90-degree corner with a massive barrier. So we started going, 100, 150 meters down the road, and at this point I was getting pretty nervous, and we were gaining some serious momentum. I think we were probably going about 25 miles an hour, and we hit the like 200, 250 meter mark and the 300 meter mark. And at that point, I could see my little tombstone. It was saying, Oscar Pistorius, great kid, 1986 to 1990. And my brother was very relaxed. And I must admit, I was quite scared. I can't imagine what I must have looked like. At that stage, I don't know what my parents were thinking, but I had like this blonde mullet because my hero was MacGyver. And it was flapping in the wind most definitely. But I'm pretty sure I had a very nervous look on my face. And my brother, very relaxed, about 50 meters before this barrier, he just reached behind him and he grabbed my prosthetic leg. And at that stage we didn't have these cool Nike shoes. I had Mickey Mouse shoes at that time, and he stuck this shoe between the wheel and the road, and that's when the go-kart came to a screeching halt. And that day I remembered two things. I definitely remembered that Mickey Mouse shoes are probably the best Brembo brakes that money can buy, but also that having a disability wasn't always going to be about disadvantages.